Hello everyone, continuing from yesterday's video, today I'll be covering Killer Croc to complete the Legion of Doom team. I've already made videos about Scarecrow, Sinestro, and Deathstroke before, so I won't go over them again. If you'd like me to cover all the other Legion of Doom heroes like Captain Cold and Black Adam, let me know in the comments below. We still have a giveaway today, so don't forget to subscribe to the channel to catch more giveaways for DC Dark Legion. Now let's get into the main content. Killer Croc is a tanker built for early game durability, similar to Wonder Woman. He doesn't need long setup time like Scarecrow, who requires stacking over a longer duration. The big advantage is that Killer Croc is a free legendary, so it's much easier to upgrade his stars compared to mythic heroes. Even though upgrading is easier, I personally haven't been lucky enough to max star either Wonder Woman or Killer Croc. He's strong, but I can't rank him too high in the tier list because placing heroes is always difficult and often controversial. Killer Croc can be very powerful in the right team, but if he's placed in the wrong lineup, he might not even survive, let alone support his teammates. Regarding Killer Croc's skills, his first skill deals area damage, but the damage itself is quite low. Overall, this skill doesn't impact opponents much and doesn't come with any special effects. His second skill increases his physical defense at the very start of the battle, which helps him survive longer against enemies who rely on physical damage. However, most strong ranged heroes deal spiritual damage, so this skill isn't very effective against them. Still, it's useful when facing melee opponents like Superman and Supergirl. As for those ranged enemies, you can rely on Deathstroke and Lex Luthor to take them down early. His third skill also deals area damage, but this time it hits all enemies as he jumps right into the middle of the opponent's formation. The damage isn't high, but the important part is that it reduces the enemy's physical defense. This makes him a great support for physical damage dealers like Supergirl, Superman, or Lex Luthor. For example, you can pair him with a Superman family team so Supergirl can safely attack from the backline, dealing more damage and staying alive longer. His fourth skill is another survival tool. When his HP drops below 50%, he hides away and heals himself by 25% if he's at max star. This skill also deals damage to enemies, but the damage is very low and not really worth mentioning. Overall, Killer Croc is a solid tanker who can survive well in the early game while also providing valuable support for physical damage dealers. In fact, his ability to reduce enemy physical defense is even better than Superboy's. Now, let's talk about legacy. For a tanker, the best legacy is Amazonium because it greatly improves survivability. It boosts HP, physical defense, and crit DMG resistance, which helps the hero last longer when facing enemies with high physical damage. On top of that, its skill provides a shield and increases both physical and spiritual defense, making it the strongest option for any tanker. If you're running two tankers and can't give him Amazonium, you can go with the Prometheum Legacy. Since Killer Croc already has a self-heal when he drops below 50% HP, combining it with Prometheum allows him to generate a shield as well, further increasing his survivability. While the offensive stats and attack-based skill on this legacy aren't very useful for him, simply staying alive longer already creates a big advantage for the team. If you don't like using that, because Prometheum is usually more suited for warriors, you can consider Gabriel Legacy instead. This one increases energy regeneration, allowing him to use his ultimate faster. That's beneficial for the team since activating his skills earlier gives his allies more support. Gabriel also boosts team attack, making it very useful for increasing overall damage output. As for legendary and epic legacies, you can simply pick whichever gives the best HP, defense, and resistance stats. I won't specify a particular one here. Next, let's move on to Transmute. For a tanker that specializes in physical defense, you generally have two main options. The first is to focus entirely on physical defense, which allows him to survive extremely well against heroes that deal physical damage. The second option is to balance things out by investing more into spiritual defense, since your opponents will never run a team made up of only physical damage dealers or only spiritual damage dealers. Other useful stats to look for include HP, crit DMG resistance, and dodge, all of which increase survivability. Now, regarding set bonuses, for those who might not know yet, let me remind you. When you transmute at level 5, each piece of equipment has a small chance of gaining a set bonus. The probability is very low, but it's important to know which sets are the best so you can prioritize them. I'll also mention alternative sets that can be combined if you can't complete a full 5/5 set right away. Out of the three options, the shield set is the best for tankers. If you manage to complete 5/5, it will generate a shield equal to 40% of max HP. Since tankers naturally have very high HP, that 40% is a massive amount, and it makes this set the strongest choice. You can try to build one shield set for all of your tankers, instead of focusing on just one hero or faction, to save resources. However, it's always better to start transmuting with a tanker that fits a strong faction first, because using the right faction bonus gives you an additional 20% stats, which makes a big difference. For those who can't complete a full 5/5 shield set yet, you can combine two sets: Unyielding Will, 2 hefts, and Shield of Information, 2 hefts. The Unyielding Will set increases survival time by 2 seconds when HP drops below 30%, and it also boosts energy. This set is usually more suited for warriors, but Killer Croc can still make good use of it, since he also relies on his ultimate to support teammates and enable higher damage output. Now let's move on to Force. The best approach is to focus on defense, crit resistance, and HP. As for the 3 skills, you only really need to upgrade Tough Hide and Sewer, since his first skill doesn't deal significant damage and isn't worth investing heavily in. The only exception is if you have an excess of ACAD shards and don't plan to invest them into other heroes. In that case, you can go ahead and use them on him to build the strongest team possible. Next, let's talk about some teams that work well with him. Yesterday, I already mentioned one good lineup in the Lex Luthor video, which includes Killer Croc, Bane, Deathstroke, Talia, and Lex Luthor. As for the full 5 Legion of Doom team, I also covered that before, and I'll leave the link to that video below. Today, let's look at a more special lineup that combines him with the Suicide Squad: Killer Croc, Harley Quinn, Deadshot, Deathstroke, and Lex Luthor. You can also swap Deadshot for Captain Cold to create a mix of 4 Legion of Doom and 3 Suicide Squad heroes, or replace Deathstroke to get 4 Suicide Squad and 3 Legion of Doom. Using this setup means you don't need to invest too much into limited heroes. The Suicide Squad bonus gives extra attack, which fits well in this team. Captain Cold can increase physical damage taken by a target by up to 60%. When combined with Deathstroke, Lex Luthor, and Killer Croc, this leads to extremely high damage output.
Step aside and let the real genius handle it. Stone cold.
Another strong team, although not directly tied to Killer Croc, is the Superman family. Since they are all metahumans, the whole team benefits from increased HP and attack. In this setup, Killer Croc takes the tanker role instead of Supergirl. Superboy reduces enemy defense, and Killer Croc also reduces defense, which allows Supergirl to deal massive damage while waiting for Crypto to boost KE for the entire Superman team. There are still many other strong teams that I don't have time to cover all at once. I'll be breaking them down one by one with dedicated videos for each team, just like I did with the Justice League Dark and Legion of Doom videos. So stay tuned for those upcoming guides Don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment if you have any questions. Your comments not only give me ideas for future videos, but also count entries for the giveaway. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.